Today I decided to boycott reading out The Ugly Duckling, but that's basically what this event is. The Aeolus Vale is the home of the Zeus, which is not only the name of a great song, but also the winged people of the Dragon Quest VII world. Their design is reminiscent of angels, but when you first arrive there, the people don't seem too virtuous. One among their midst, Fidelia, was born without wings, and the other villagers are kinda ableist. Some aren't, but there's a spectrum ranging from ones thinking they're better to others, specifically the children, slinging slurs at the one child that can't fly. But given how nobody does anything about it, this seems to be the general stance the villagers have on anyone who can't fly. Fidelia's father even told her that she was adopted all because she was born without wings, and he thought that would bring shame on his family. But you don't come to places to solve ableism. You come to places that Orgonomir locked away, and there's a sanctum of the Zeus that was taken over by monsters, and within is a stone that summons wind, which the Zeus require to fly. They used to not always be wind, but thanks to the stone it's always blowing. This also means the Zeus got used to always being able to fly, so they can no longer function without wind, and if it were to go away, their whole society would crumble. So anyways, you beat the monsters, retrieve the stone, but there's that one woman that really hates the stone and its powers and even tells Fidelia to toss it away. But we as the players know better after what happened with the goddess statue in the Providence region. And as that one woman herself says, Fidelia wouldn't do that, even if it would restore equality, because she knows better. At this point, one of the monsters takes over the real cause of the wind, a statue of the wind spirit, which is one of the aforementioned elemental spirits that make up the Almighty, so a real deity. It's covered in darkness now, and to reach it you need to pass through a door that only the Zeus can go through. And the only one not completely screwed over by the lack of wind is Fidelia, who learned how to live without it. There's a scene where she magically flies thanks to the stone she still carries after almost being murdered by the other children of the village. This is also when her dad tells her that she isn't adopted and he was simply ashamed of her. But after all of this, Fidelia still decides to go with you, puts herself in harm's way, all to save these people. Because as stated so many times before, even the awful people are worth saving, and Fidelia understands that. It's the same message about compassion that's been repeated so often. So you go back through the dungeon, Fidelia opens the door, you cleanse the statue and kill the monster responsible. The Zeus can take back the sanctum, the priest is back so they can fly again most of the time, and Fidelia finds out that she can also fly using the stone. But she does decide that she should rather give it to you, since it might aid you on your journey, which it does. With the stone you can go upwards all the way to heaven. But God isn't around in heaven anymore, and the divine shrine is only a shell of its former self. There is a tablet that you won't have all the pieces for, but that's only something to keep in mind for later. The Zeus now live in an environment with natural airflow, so they learn to walk again. They can still fly, but eventually over the years they will lose that ability entirely. What will remain, however, are stories about Fidelia, who lives on in people's memories and the morals of her story. Even if the people lost the gift of flight, that doesn't mean that they are now worth less. Even if the arrogant attitude the Zeus lost alongside their wings might lead you to believe otherwise. Also try to be a well-rounded person, unlike the Zeus of old who never learned how to walk.